Welcome in to episode 23 of our Let's Play Humankind series at top difficulty. That's right, we're playing at Humankind difficulty in this game. All the settings and all the things that we went through to set this game up. In fact, you can even play along in exactly the same game if you want to. All of that is found down in the description below in episode 1 if you want to catch up on where we are. At the end of the last episode, we made the move to the industrial era finally, and we selected the Mexicans. We were looking for a little boost to our food across our empire. We were struggling with that a little bit. Growth had kind of slowed to a grinding halt. We were losing population even in some cities. Arguably, there are a lot of different ways to solve that particular problem, but going with the Mexicans will assist us in solving that problem. In addition to the fact that we could probably train some armies, bolster our forces as the geopolitical landscape is shifting rapidly in this game as we get rolling. If you like the content, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you know when we release these videos, typically on Sundays. Let's jump into the episode and we'll play our very first turn, turn 166 in the industrial era as the Mexicans. As you can see, we are right back into our capital city of Anug, 50 people strong. I feel like that was like right where we were last time, so I honestly don't think we've even gained any population in Anug. If we did, we'd lost it again. So again, those are the reasons why we went with the Mexicans, and you will see that we have an instantaneous boost. If we go over to where we are playing as the Mexicans, and we have the trait plus 10% food on all cities. That will immediately, of course, make a difference for us. We also, right off the bat, have an expansion star. We will probably not, in fact, almost assuredly not get any further expansion stars for the rest of the game. Unless you plan on late game war, which is technically a possibility for us. I think that we can win the game with what we have right now. I'm not apt to go to war. If you've seen my military, you know it's not up to date. It's slightly behind in tech. Although we have the technology to make it better, we're kind of behind. I don't want a war. I think we can do this what we have. Unless you're planning on taking like half the map or more, you're not really going to get expansion stars beyond the industrial era, unless you have some massive map that you're playing on. Although even that is, all of that is formulated based off of the amount of territories that are available in your map. So expansion stars gets very hard to get, but we got one. That's pretty decent. We also already have a militarist star from the battles that we waged last time, which is actually pretty convenient because I don't get a lot of militarist stars because I don't tend to do a lot of war. So that's nice. Agrarian stars are going to be tough to come by, but since we're playing as the Mexicans, if we get those haciendas in, which are really nice, food-based farmer's quarter that we can put in, really boost our food production in our cities, I think we can start pushing agrarian pretty hard. Really like the idea in the industrial era of pushing population because usually you'll hit a point where you stagnate. In the industrial era, what's going to happen is, not only for us, we've picked the Mexicans and we're going to boost our food that way, we're also going to hit the tech microbiology. We'll pull that up in just a second here, but you can see where we sit in stars. We also have one of the builder stars already, so you can see we already have 3 stars. Very first turn in the industrial era. That's because we spent, quite a bit of time sitting there down below in the last era collecting stars, which was very good for us because as you can see, we are in first place, and we're in first place now by a little bit. So you can see that in first place there's us, in second place is Icarus at 14k. We have an 800 fame lead, and that is with even stars. That's always my comparison point. Are we in the same era? And how many stars do we have in that era so far? We now have the same amount of stars that Icarus has in the same era, therefore our comparison point is pretty direct. There's no like catch up to be done. We're like right neck and neck as far as where we are in the game. We're right there, and we have an 800 fame lead now. So this marks, this era now, right, marks the first era that we have been in first place in the entire game, right? We have been behind the entire time. Pretty typical in a 4X strategy game when you're playing at the highest difficulty. There's a catch up and then a snowball. And so our objective now is we need to snowball into our end game condition, which is arguably going to be the space race, but that is kind of dependent on what sort of strategic resources we have access to. All of that we'll start to talk about as we prepare for potentially ending the game at some point when we are ahead. So all of that looking good. I believe we had a move up on the last turn as well. Right here, Plosif, who may be going to war with us here in the near future, potentially, goes from the Dutch to the Ethiopians. So there's an interesting move up to note as well. We have that going on. Our faith is... So this is really interesting. We're still gaining followers at a very small rate. There is one more tenant that we could claim if we could continue to convert people. Obviously, the Hacienda is not going to help us with that, so we don't have anything we're pushing faith with necessarily. So it's not something that we have to do it. But from a tech perspective, let's go and pick our tech. We're fully researched. We have everything from the previous eras. We stayed until basically, I think it was like the turn. We actually didn't end up burning very much science, which is really nice. We stayed right up until that point. And now we are in the industrial era techs. There's a lot of decent techs here that you could start to trend towards if you want some civic reductions, if you want to go up the science route of the tree, get to colony blueprint. We're not going to be founding any new cities, but again, you're always looking for these colony plans, colony blueprints, because they get you in a new city all those past infrastructures, which is huge when you're first putting in a city. You've also got access to rail if you go this way, and larger and bigger boats, which may be something that we trend towards a little bit, which could be something to think about. The other techs that are really good, mechanization gets you access to the industrial silos. Now, you do start polluting at this point, but it also, this is usually a big food boost for you in your city, so those industrial silos can be very good. You also get access to the sawmills, which again, can be very good. You could reduce your cost on research quarters, which is pretty big. Fertilizer plants, again, going to get you some stuff. So a lot of the techs are good. But the one tech that always stands out to me in this particular era is microbiology. Microbiology gets you minus 20% farmer's quarter industry cost. So for us, because our emblematic district is a farmer's quarter, it's going to reduce our industry cost of that by 20%, which is really nice. You get pasteurization, which is huge. Minus 20% population consumption on city outposts. So basically your people eat 20% less food in effect. So you need less food to maintain your population, which is really great. And then if you're having any trouble with stability at this point in the game, you get mass vaccination with microbiology as well, which gives you +1 stability per population. So in our capital, it's going to be +50 stability, which is a really nice number. And all of your cities are going to get boosted that way. It's very nice. And then just in case that doesn't do it for you and fix your stability issues, you also get access to the hospital, which gives you +2 stability per researcher. So if you're pushing science, which mostly when you get to the industrial era, you probably are, then you're also then going to get stability alongside that. So we're just going to tech straight to microbiology. It's actually going to take us through both steam engine and scientific method to get there. Now, technically, we could skip steam engine and we could actually do encyclopedia instead. But we're going to... I don't mind getting access to things like coal and things like maker's quarter reduction cost. This we can grab at a later time, so I don't mind that we're coming through this part. And then also what that does is, if we need to go and grab a superior navy at any point, we're actually teched through in a way that will make it easy to get propeller, which can be very beneficial to us as well. Whale fishing also can get you some really nice bonuses for a little bit for food if you need to push that. I don't foresee that we'll need to push food once we're done with our haciendas and things like that, but we will go straight through to microbiology. That will be our tech plan. Take us through to where we want to go. Let's review our treaties really quick. I like to do that at the start of each episode.
We have some common ground.
That's like so much. Look at this. This is just we have 540 leverage. So we could just leverage our way out of a war, but the question will be is like how much damage will be done before we can leverage down his armies and things like that. Debatable. We might be able to make some pretty solid moves leverage-wise if a war gets declared here. But we don't have any treaties. They have 7 demands still ongoing and things like that, so we have nothing we can really do there. Now, Nox is recently freed from Burley, declaring her independence, and so we have been making deals left, right, and center. It looks like we can make another deal. Do we want to try an alliance? I feel like we don't want to push Burley, and I can't remember if Burley's still at war. Let's look at relations. Yeah, she's still at war with Burley, so I don't want to push the alliance yet. But, you know, something like share maps or open borders might be nice for our boats, although I don't think we're too close to each other. Let's go propose share maps. We'll just strengthen our relationship here. We have no crises right now, so that's nice.
A pleasure to see you.
This is fine. Burley is now condescending of me, and war support is growing. We have been in an alliance for quite some time, but that could be on the rocks. I don't love that. Let's see, we're at 647 money, but we're about to switch our population back over. I'm not going to make any trades yet.
How do you do, whoever you are?
Plosive, this is the one I'm a little concerned about, right? We have only 50 leverage, so we're not going to leverage our way out of this war, potentially, and their war support is immensely high. They have a demand ongoing, and what is this demand? What? Okay, so their demand is going to push their war support, but we really don't care about that anymore, right? Because their war support is all the way up already. Now, we would love to get ours going up instead of down, so I'm wondering if we make a demand. I don't know. Pushing Plosive into war right now seems like a bad idea, because he is not at war with anybody currently. That war with Icarus ended. I'd love for, if Icarus and Plosive go to war again, that I can push both of them, diplomatically speaking, on different treaties and things. We won't do anything there with Plosive quite yet. All right, let's move our units and get our turn underway. First turn here in the industrial era. These guys keep getting interrupted by something, and I'm not sure what it is. I'm just gonna keep them on auto explore. Oh, I don't love that. Why are you going into the ocean? Like right towards an army that's probably going to attack you in open water. Sometimes envoys are not the brightest of individuals, I feel, you know? God, oh, look at this, envoys everywhere. These are all envoys here, I believe. Yeah, they're just like hanging out in the water. Go collect diplomatic stuff. What are you doing? All right, these guys, I feel like this, well, we have other ships on the other side of the map, but let's keep these guys kind of headed in this direction. I'm just going to keep them here for now. It looks like they just got here. They must have just moved to this spot. We're just continuing to explore for curiosities. We will start to see, as we hit the industrial era, curiosities will basically start to disappear. You won't see them very much anymore. You'll almost never see them on land anymore, because all the land has been claimed and there's no curiosities spawning in the land. Your ocean tiles will still occasionally see some, but we'll see just how frequent that is. I seem to recall that at some point here, towards this portion of the game, you just end up with, like, there's no curiosities left, and so there's not really a great reason to be, like, roaming around in the oceans with boats and things like that. Although, you know, we'll find out how valid that is. We've got 4 Carracks here. This is actually this is a decent little fleet. We'd like to fill it out with Carracks to make sure that we have full kind of defensive capabilities. We're just kind of hanging out here, making sure that there's no shenanigans in this particular area. Corral, as you can see, food is at 35. That's with that 10% bonus. And it looks like we have switched everyone back to science. So we must, I don't know when I did that or if I accidentally left them all in science, but we're on science. We like that. And we're only at 35 food. We're growing in 3 turns, so we'd like to try to fix that. Now, in Corral, we do not have any population cap problems. Otherwise, we'd probably be putting in hamlets. We all have a lot of infrastructures to potentially check out as well. Plus 2 money, and the next upgrade is the fish market. So what I know about the fish market is this. The fish market is usually worth a lot of gold. So what we might want to do, and this is something to pay attention to in your own games of Humankind as well, is if you see technologies that are kind of older technologies like Fishmonger, it only gets you plus 3 money on Harbor. It's really not worth doing almost, like 12 gold at this point. It's like, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not awesome. But when you get access to the next building, and you won't see the benefits of that building until you build it, right? So you kind of have to know what are the benefits. I'm actually really tempted to build this Fishmonger really quick, just so we can push gold a little bit harder as well. We can also get plus 29 industry from this, which would be really nice. Plus 12 from this and an industry slot. Those are also very tempting. The bank only gets us 12 money. We don't get almost any money for traders anymore. The commodities market has become much less. It's much less good. It used to be a really good building because traders used to be. This is for traders, and we've tacked away for money. Anything that says trade routes on it now, you're going to have heavy trade routes in your capital, and then your other cities have kind of just a smattering of little bit of thing with trade routes. And so again, this is not I was mistaken here. This is just traders, which we have none of right now, so it's not useful for us. But anything that says trade routes, like the customs farm, for example, is generating most of our money for ongoing trade. Now, the customs farm in our capital, in fact, if we haven't built it, we can make a comparison perhaps. The customs farm in our capital, if we go and look at it, let's see if we can find it. Plus 29 money, right? So we get plus 29 money for the customs farm in our capital for ongoing trade. I don't know what that number means anymore. It's very confusing to me. But in Corral, we don't have any, we're not getting anything for that, right? Our customs farm is actually, there's nothing. We don't have any trade apparently generating from here. The trade changes, I think, were very necessary that they made several patches ago, but they've also made it slightly confusing and kind of made some infrastructures like very unnecessary in certain cities. The other thing we could look at is, do we push science? Something like 37 science per turn and 33 science per turn. Like, you can't pass that up. So we want to push science pretty hard, make sure that we're on the cutting edge of technologies. So let's go ahead and do that here first in Corral, and then we'll probably end up starting to put some haciendas in, is my bet. Our other city that's not building anything right now is Agra. They have 41 food and growing relatively rapidly. They're approaching pop cap, so again, we've got hamlets to put down at some point, and this city doesn't have a ton of infrastructure to build because, again, we waited until we had one of those colony blueprints in order to put this city in at that time. So we really don't have anything that's going to yield us like a ton of anything. Ooh, we'll go straight into our haciendas, just start getting these guys down. That's a 23 food, but man, we would love to put a couple of market quarters in here because we've got double. The question becomes, like, we're getting late into the game. Are we actually going to build those market quarters? Is that actually something we're going to do? And is the 23 food going to be worth it? I mean, the 23 food is pretty huge at this point compared to other places. So I mean, we just put it down. Let's read the hacienda one more time. Plus 3 food per adjacent farmer's quarter. Plus 1 food on farmer's quarter per adjacent farmer's quarter. So even our farmer's quarters then benefit from each other. So we really want to be able to surround our haciendas with farmer's quarters, which would be best. So that's why there are no. I don't think we've built a single farmer's quarter in this city potentially. So this little plains area right here does look like a really nice location for that, and we could get a couple of them surrounding it. So go ahead and do this. It's fine. I'm not like stoked on that necessarily, but we could do it. Fields of plenty. Hark! Your empire is a land of plenty. Your city is a quilt book of farms and small holdings that feed your hungry and ambitious people. While new methods of the age bring huge grain silos into your employ, transforming the farming landscape. As the sector scales up, you must now ask yourself if it is time the state ran the empire's farms. So now we get options. Within our civics tree, we can nationalize our industries. Will push us closer to our this collectivism side of the tree, which is kind of the industrial side of the tree, away from the gold side, which we've been trending away from, I guess. Like, we're way over here. This is a large swing, so we can swing all the way to plus 10% money, or we can swing to the plus 5% industry. I actually am probably more interested on this, right? Our food is what we're struggling with right now. Plus 1 trader slot and city outpost per market quarter is, we really have not put in many market quarters. We do have some farmers quarters in, and we're going to be putting haciendas in on the regular now. But here's the thing. It's the first turn of a new era. This costs 2,700 influence. What we want to check before we put this in is what wonders are available to us. Let's see what has been claimed. It doesn't look like any wonders from this age have been claimed yet. We have 4 options. We have the Kaiserlich Werft, which gives you basically the ability to build navy really quickly. And your navy will heal, but you also get a lot of production out of your harbors, so all of that stuff. Plus minus 25% industry cost on naval units, so again, build a large navy, but you do get plus 20% industry on harbor, which is pretty nice. We've got multiple harbors in a lot of our cities. It's not the worst wonder from a production standpoint if you've picked one of the other cultures that has a harbor as part of their emblematic district, right? So if you just have one harbor per, plus 20 industry is nothing to scoff at, but if you've got 2 harbors per territory, because you've got, you know, a Noust or something like that, like we have Nousts in a lot of our territories. In fact, we even have Kothons in a couple of our territories, so we even have 3 in some of our territories that we took over from Sarge at the very beginning of the game when we took him off of our continent. This would actually be then plus 60 industry on a harbor. So it's really not that bad at all. And so it's just something to think about with that one. Big Ben is quite good. This gets you science, plus 3 science per adjacent market quarter. So it's actually nice to put next to harbors. If you're going to be putting some market quarters around that, you can get some good benefits. But it also gets you plus 8 science per adjacent administrative center. Obviously, you're only going to have 1 adjacent administrative center. Although I guess you could have territories where you could like technically squeeze Big Ben around like 2 of them. But you're going to get plus 5 science per alliance, and you're going to get plus 10% science on capital. It is a very science-heavy, obviously, thing, but it's very good. It's a lot of science you're going to get out of Big Ben. The Eiffel Tower goes in a different direction and gives you plus 10 industry per adjacent research quarter, and plus 1 industry per population on all cities. Plus 1 industry per pop on all cities. That's plus 50 industry in our capital alone, and all of your cities get it. The Eiffel Tower is a very potent building. As you'll notice, each of the wonders in the industrial era is very potent. The Statue of Liberty also will get you on Empire, right? So empire-wide, 10 money per number of territories in your sphere of influence, and 10 science per number of territories in your sphere of influence. Now, this one is a little bit circumstantial. It can be very powerful. Sometimes it's not. We have territories under our influence. We have a pretty good swing, actually, of territories. It's not awesome, right? We're kind of like, there's lots of people that have influence, although look at Plosif is gaining and taking over from a cultural standpoint across the board. You can see that green has big influence in our land as well. So this would be valuable for us, and you could count up the number of territories that you have pretty quickly and be able to make some calculations based off of this. The numbers will add up very quickly, right? Each of these territories, in fact, you see are listed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20, like 20-ish territories under our influence. So, I mean, that gets up there pretty quick. You're gonna get pretty high as far as your numbers are concerned when you are looking at the Statue of Liberty, right? Plus 10 money. And if we've got 20, you're looking at what, like 200? Is that right? You're looking at like 200 money, 200 science. It's a big number. It's a large number. Is it equivalent to kind of Big Ben levels? Probably like Big Ben levels of science. You'd have to do the math on that. You're not going to get the industry at all, right? You're going to split the difference between like money and, you know, money and science. So I don't know. Eiffel Tower is my lean most of the time because I want that heavy production at the end. And I want that because all of the projects you're going to run are going to cost industry. And so I like the idea of Eiffel Tower here. So if we have what it takes, which we do, 10.1k, we're going to go ahead and claim the Eiffel Tower. Now, if we could potentially claim multiple wonders in this era, that might be very advantageous for us. So we'll see. Let's put the claim in. Now, we can't claim another one until we build this one. So now the question becomes, do we just straight build this and go for another wonder? We do have Brussels Town Hall, so we're getting an additional 50 fame per wonder that we build, which is really nice, and we'd like to be able to snag maybe one more of those. Any of them will do, to be honest, right? So the question becomes, where are we putting the Eiffel Tower? So if we look at the Eiffel Tower, which we just claimed, it can be once in the world. It doesn't require being connected. It can be put anywhere. It's a shared project. It exploits everything underneath it. But it really what we're looking for is a place that benefits from the stability possibly, or that we're going to have a bunch of research quarters around. Now, our capital city, I think, actually has a really nice spot for this already, potentially. So we might end up throwing it in the capital. That might be, again, anywhere we're going to surround it with research quarters is probably going to be our spot for it. Let's check stability really quick. Capital is sitting at 70 stability, 75 for Urim, but that's dropping to that, and they're actually building an apothecary to try to fix some of that problem right now. Again, this will all fix, what, 10 or 15 turns from now when we get the access to microbiology on the tech tree. Now, Huatu is going to 0%. That's not great. So they perhaps could benefit greatly from having a wonder there. So Huatu would be a really good option. Palette of Putra is dropping to 45. So again, stability is clearly an issue. 56 in Agra. So putting in our capital maybe not the greatest idea, since our capital actually is stabilizing at one of the higher levels. But let's find out where our best Eiffel Tower location is. I was thinking, yeah, right in here, because I know, right, there's 2 different science quarters. So then you get your plus 20 right off the bat. I think we have other spots that are similar, though, right? In Corral, I'm getting a suggested area in Corral, so I don't think there's a good spot there. Huatu doesn't have a good spot either, but I'm wondering, is there a spot where we did get to put... I don't think we put any research quarters in here because we hadn't conquered the city and we were playing our initial couple of people, so I don't even think there's a research quarter here. We could use our lenses to switch, but I actually don't think there's a research quarter in this entire land. So Huatu not a good option for that. So we also have problems over here in Palette de Putra, but again, I don't think there are any research quarters. Oh, we do have a stupa here. We do have at least a spot where we could get 11, but then we can't, we're really not going to surround it. And then Agra, I don't think has any research quarters either. We've got Jama Masjids, we've got all kinds of things. So we're not going to find another great location here in Agra either. So really, might just toss the stability out the window. This is our best spot empire-wide, right? I'm hesitant to place this based on stability because I know we're going to fix our stability problems as we get to microbiology. So I kind of want to just place this in like the most logical location to get kind of the best benefits. And like clearly it's one of these 2 spots, right? This would allow us to do kind of a full surround. So this would be a nice spot, be right next to our mausoleum, which is cool. Mausoleum also benefits, I think, from having research quarters around it. So we're actually doubling up our value there. I like that a lot, actually. I'm going to put it right here. Let's place it here. And then I think we build it. I think every city, unless they're like struggling for pop, I think we just put every city on this. See how fast we can crank it out. What do we got it down to? 7 turns. That's pretty decent. Oh, and Corral's not even on it. 6 turns when Corral gets put on it. Okay, so we can 6 turn in the Eiffel Tower. Now, in 6 turns, I don't think we'll even have enough fame to claim another wonder. But we'll push for it because it's a nice way to collect some extra fame that will kind of secure us that top fame spot. Okay, so we're going to push wonders here for a little bit, which will potentially set us back. The other thing that I read in the comments a little bit on the last video was people asking about, why don't you build walls? Well, the answer to that question is I should, and I never do. I've been, it's been a topic of conversation before on the live streams over at twitch.tv/MagisBoost, and I don't know. I get distracted by other things unless I'm being actively attacked, and then by that time it's usually too late to put in my walls, and it ends up costing me dearly. So, is it possible that Plosif wants to attack us and then I need walls really fast? It's possible. And then we'd be in trouble. Should I probably stop what I'm doing right now and put walls in? Arguably. Probably, yeah. Should I have a larger army? Probably, yeah. I like to play in a very passive way, though, so I like give the computer the benefit of the doubt, and then they always stab me in the back. But that's just how I play. Is it the smartest way to play? Arguably not. But it's just how I like to play, so it's just what I do. It probably isn't like the best move. I would suggest maybe that you have walls in at this point in the game. They look cool too, so it's something you might want to do. We're going to press forward under my normal mentality of, but they won't attack me. It's impossible. Even though they hate me and definitely want to destroy me, they won't attack me. They probably will. The other thing we want to look at before we move up, which I know we've been taking forever, is do we want to use our Greener Pastures ability? Now, we probably don't want to use it in Palette de Putra because they are near population cap. And this is my main issue with the ability, the Greener Pastures ability that you get when you play a food affinity culture. So many of my cities, because I focus growth so heavily, end up not really needing additional population because I'm already near pop cap. Obviously, you could utilize this ability in a lot of different ways. You could use it to move population around. So if we had a city in our main empire that had room, we could move. If you use it, it will pull population from the cities around it. And so you can pull population from your own cities into one of your cities. There's a lot of maneuverability with this particular ability that you can do in order to get stuff, right? We would actually gain 8 population in Agra if we did this, which would put them over pop cap. We don't want to be over pop cap. That would affect our stability. That would affect our food production. That would affect our growth. Would we get 8 extra pop? Yes. Could we then translate that into armies? Yeah, absolutely. You could definitely focus that down and do it that way. But you'll notice we're also pulling 1 from Palataputra, so we'd get 1 out of Palataputra in there. If you do it in Palataputra, you're going to get 1 from Agra. You're pulling most of your population from here, right? So you'd be reducing population there, adding it here. We don't have any cities in particular that really have the, again, 5 here. There's only 2 slots there. Batu is right at pop cap. Karal has the most slots, so technically we could help some of our other cities out. We could use it here. We're gaining 1 population total, right? Because we're getting 9 pop, but we're pulling all of that population coming into our city. 8 of that population is coming from our other cities. So our overall population is not actually increasing. And then all of a sudden, Karal is just dealing with those population cap problems. So is it useful? I think early game, yes, it is useful early game. Late game, if you're up against the population cap wall, maybe not so much. All right, here we go. Let's move along. Palataputra has gained population. Our boats are on their way. This halberdier is going to just station right here. He was the one that was going to go attack those free peoples, which arguably, if we needed military stars, we could still do. It's not out of the question if we wanted some military stars. All right, these boats are still just kind of keeping an eye on things over here. In separation of powers, religious community participation has been waning for years as the Empire's cultural strength grows, and now is the right time to remove religious authority from political power. Should religion solely become a matter of personal faith, though, or does it still have a part to play in civic society? I have not particularly messed with the secularism versus atheism, irreligion thing. You lose the ability to enforce a state religion, pick holy sites or tenets, but you're immune to religious grievances. That could be very helpful if you're getting a lot of religious grievances late in the game. That could be really handy, excuse me, for avoiding any sort of war support or war score issues that you might end up having. So I could see why that would be valuable later on. State atheism is, again, very weird. You get minus 75% foreign religious strength bonus. So I guess they can't spread to you? Then plus 25% faith on territories if they're following your state religion. But your state religion gets replaced with atheism, and you can't build holy sites or tenets. All religious civics are locked, and some invested influence is reimbursed. So it's almost like you're stopping another religion from taking over, from getting your population bonuses. I'm not sold on the benefits here either. So I don't really mess with that one all that much. Again, we're gonna save our influence to try to snag maybe another wonder in this era. So we're just gonna go with that, and I think we're just ending turn. We're cruising at this point. Want to keep an eye on a couple different things on our borders to make sure we're not seeing any. Again, we've got armies up here. These winged hussars and halberdiers, crossbowmen. Again, we have the ability to upgrade units. That's why we want to save some money in our bank. Possibly even upgrade some of these guys. Right? We got 37 attack even on these draftees still. Which is relatively, they're obvious. The 41 they could probably go to toe-to-toe with, and they could go to toe-to-toe with the crossbowmen, but they're pretty much, our armies are getting kind of blended out at this point. So we want to pay attention to that as we're going. We might need to start upgrading some of those, or else we'll look like easy pickings, and we don't necessarily want that.
The Eiffel Tower, proof of what you can do with a bit of iron, a bit of math, and thousands of liters of paint.
That was a 2-turn Eiffel Tower build. I thought it said it was going to take 6. I don't know. The numbers clearly change as you go. Oh, you know what? We have monumental contractors with a bunch of people. Nice. Somebody helped us build this, clearly, and reap the benefits of it, but that's advantageous to us. We get all the benefits of that now. Production is now sky high across our empire, and as soon as we can, we'll go claim another wonder. Now, how much do we need to claim that wonder? If we say we wanted Big Ben, 13.1k. So we need 13.1k, and we'll get there pretty fast. We're cranking on influence pretty hard. It won't take us too terribly long. And we kind of want to look at I'm really under the impression that I'm unsure if there will be any more curiosities in this area. We'll find out. These guys are hanging out. We'll just kind of keep a peek on what's going on, and then we're just cranking turns. We're moving on through. All right, Huatu, now we have to go deal with some stuff. Huatu's losing pop again. We're gonna cruise our boats all over the place, see what we can find. These boats are still hanging out. All right, and then we got to go fix Huatu, right? Huatu has reached, once again, starving. Just 2 turns. But we have money potentially to buy out some units. I wouldn't hurt maybe to have another unit out there. We could get a halberdier, which decreases our stuff by 3, but it costs 2,000. That's a lot of gold that could be spent on other things. Is there any way we could get some more food here? Get 4 food from River, but it's just not worth the money we're going to spend on it for 4 food. I'm not even sure. Man, it's getting real sticky. Get real sticky here. We need food. Why? Huatu's land, I think, is just really bad. Like, there's just not good land. And the person, Sarge, one of our Games 100 Days, who we took this land from, this was his capital. Or no, sorry, his capital, I think, was down here. But this was his last city. Just like, it's a bunch of market quarters that aren't, like, particularly, like, well-placed, necessarily. It's kind of just crummy. It's kind of a crummy city at this point, which is a little bit frustrating. But how are we going to solve their problems? Honestly, almost part of me just says, like, just let them yin-yang on population. I think I'm just going to let them yin-yang population back and forth. Just let them fix their own problems, basically. So, all right, let's, all of our cities are queued up doing the things we want. Nug has just a backlog of amazing capacity, so we're just gonna let them build their districts. Again, wow, we're gonna need food here. We're gonna need food here, so hold up. We can't buy anything in. We'd have to train military out of here if we wanted to do it. And a hacienda's gonna get us close if we start building it right now. Oh man, it's only 16 food. We just don't have very many farmers' quarters to put these next to. I'm down to go here, though, because this would be a nice spot. We could just start surrounding this one. Let's get the hacienda down. Let's build it as well. It'll take 4 turns. That might solve our problem, potentially. All right, we'll go with that. I think everyone else is kind of cranking, so we'll just keep working through turns here. We now have access to coal, potentially. Good for us. Collecting more leverage on Icarus, which we actually don't need necessarily, but... Alright, we'll sail, I don't know, like up here. We're not seeing any... There are no curiosities that I am seeing currently that are spawning. And we can see all of this. Typically, if you can see it, a curiosity doesn't usually spawn in it, typically speaking. But I'm wondering if the industrial era is just when those curiosities kind of start to dissipate and disappear. Those guys can just hang out. Alright, crawls down to 9 food, and they grow in 4 turns. They do not have any population problems. We could put in our coal mines, which would get us access to that beautiful coal at some point. Get our fishmonger in so we can upgrade to a fish market, which again was something we were interested in. Or, oh gosh, crank a little science. A little 52 science, 34 science. Let's get those in. And I like the idea of maybe, let's get the fishmonger in. Oh, that's 29 and 2. Let's just queue up a bunch of infrastructures here. And then we'll, oh man, except for we're gonna, yeah. All right, so we'll go hacienda. We'll go hacienda. Let's go hacienda for food first, and then we'll get the rest of those in. We gotta somehow put off getting starvation in that city. Again, we're gonna get to microbiology. Gonna help with that. We're at PopCap here. So PopCap here means arguably we should probably start looking at hamlets. Oh, all their hamlets are in. Cool. Okay, well, in that case, I guess we're just gonna do haciendas. And yeah, we can just kind of stack them up around here. Works for me. That's also going to increase our pop cap by just the 1. Hi! What's happening here? Who are you? It's like random rebels? Who are these guys? I think these are rebels. Where are they coming from? Gdansk? Why are they attacking me? I guess we just take this fight. Can I upgrade any of my units first? What are they attacking me with? They're just attacking me with draftees. 34 attack draftees. What do I have? 37 attack? I mean, just instant resolve this? No, because we lose a bunch of units. Oh, gosh. Wait. Where are they? Who else is fighting me here? How do they do that much damage? Oh, sorry, it's saying they'll lose. Wow, I read this wrong every time. But we lose too many units. We're in a manual fight this. I feel like, why do we need to lose this fight? I don't feel like there's a particular reason for that. I'm gonna back off of these hits of despair. Like we don't want, yeah, this is probably fine. This guy, no, this guy can go elsewhere. We don't want that high ground over here. Except for, I kind of want you defending the flag because you're my highest unit. And then actually this, okay, we back this guy off and this guy can come. I think that's the play. Hi. Ouch. Ouch. Oh. Okay, that guy successfully defended off. It's pretty brutal. Oh, he's just a swordsman. That guy needs to be upgraded really badly. It's fine. We can get him. We're gonna get this guy out now, right? So retreat him out. And now we need to... Oh yeah, we can't do much damage with our arrows, eh? Hence the reason it was going to be a tough fight, right? So we move these guys in to our flag so we don't lose that. And then I think we just defend off, right? Our draftees are 37 attack. Theirs are... Wait, are we at 42? So they're at 34 and we're at 37, so we're always going to be the higher attack guys, right? We could just attack into them. I don't mind that. Let's just we'll come, especially here when we're coming down the hill. We definitely want to come down the hill, right? That guy would just die, but we... This guy's actually in a little bit of trouble. We could have moved this guy out. He might die now, which I don't love. Or if we move him out. Let's go scoot him over here. Let's see how they try to do this. See, they attack up the hill then when I did that, so that works quite well for us, right? Let's attack these high ground guys if we can. And this is a relatively easy attack because we can just come down. These guys we might want to move out. Pull this unit back. This unit can swing in and make this attack though. And arguably we could just fight this. That guy makes a smart move. This guy comes down and does do the high ground attack, so fine. But we did save all of our units, right? That's why we manual fought that, was because that way we don't lose anybody. We almost lost that swordsman on the initial fight. Alright, we got more experience for those units, so that's nice. We do need to probably upgrade these guys. Now that we know there's potential issues happening with rebels or whatever that was, probably should upgrade some of these guys. What's our cost on this? 485? These guys would become halberdiers. The real question is, on the tech tree, halberdiers upgrade into what? I do not actually know. Possibly like something, line infantry or something like that. So I wonder if we should wait to upgrade until we research the next level. But at the same time, 45, we get the 42. It's a 5 attack strength bonus there. Should definitely upgrade the swordsman, because this poor swordsman is a 27 attack, so that's 1,000, but he upgrades to a musket. He upgrades to a musket person. Okay, well we need some salt. Did we figure out that we have access to that? Let's trade for some.
Tell me, how have you been?
Or at least downgraded everything. Let's propose a customs union again.
This proposition
let's get refused again, and then let's trade.
Best interests.
It's a large increase, but I think. Let's go ahead and pay.
Neither interesting nor desirable.
We'll pay. Now we have access to the salt feature, so this should go down in cost, right? 970 still. I'm going to do it anyway. Very damaged. That actually heals him automatically as well. 7 Yaha doesn't even... I don't think the 7 Yaha upgrades into anything. I'm not sure, to be honest. These archers also need to get boosted, so... these guys also upgraded to musketeers. Interesting. So swordsmen, your ranged guys all end up as musketeers. That's fine. We probably need to do this. That's a 49. That goes from 23 to 49. I mean, that's like wildly good. So let's... That army at least will upgrade. That just spent a ton of our money, but that's what we were saving the gold for anyway, right? All right, Huatu lost pop. We have just settled on that being true in Huatu. They're going to just bounce back and forth for a little while. If we need to, we'll build an army out of there. But right now, they need to build other things, right? Not receiving full amount of resources purchased from Nox. Yeah, that's been happening all game across the board, I think. Let's go to Palace Putra. They were starving as well. 1 turn until decrease. The Hacienda is going to take 2. Burley has claimed the Statue of Liberty. We can now help him build it if we so chose, but we don't want to do that because we don't want him to go claim another one before we can claim another one. And we need food here. 4 turns to this. No way we have enough gold to buy any of that. So the only way to solve this particular problem here is going to be to buy a unit, which they're over pop cap. So spending our money on a unit here is not the worst idea in the world. We can only afford a runner, but that will... we can upgrade them later, and it solves our potential problem there. So we'll just go with it. Having access to runners is kind of hilarious, to be honest. Joseph is back in the water with a bunch of cogs. Oh, that's... Where is he reinforcing that from? What other units is he bringing into that? So he's got other stuff. Oh, these guys? Oh, he's bringing in a whole other fleet of cogs to that fight. Okay. So we don't want that fight. We might have to take it if he comes and attacks us. He's got double fleet sitting over there. We might want to do something with this fleet at some point. Just in case. Just in case. All right, Agra is now at 99. Actually, more than that if we switch them over back to their expert policy. They're at 108 excess food. This city is cruising. We are approaching pop cap. So we'll continue to build districts. We'll probably get our haciendas in, and then we'll get our hamlets in. That probably will be our play. These haciendas are not as super impressive because we just haven't focused on building farmers' quarters. So the numbers on these are actually incredibly low. I'm not impressed, actually, with these haciendas, but I think that's part and parcel of my issue. I just have not put in a lot of farmers' quarters. Normally, when you put these haciendas in, you're going to see larger numbers because you've got pockets of farmers' quarters around. We just haven't been relying on building farmers' quarters very much, so. Intriguing. Young offenders. Population of Urim has snowballed of late, more so than current housing can cope with. Many souls are held together in filthy, overcrowded accommodation. Poverty, unemployment, illness, and crime is rife. Worse still is the number of children who, lacking opportunities to support, turn to violence. Recently, many of them have formed into roving gangs of pickpockets and thugs, often at the behest of criminal adults. Their aggression and thievery means people are increasingly afraid to leave their homes. How should we tackle this problem? Look at these kids. They do look like punks. We can suppress, we can flood the streets with police and guards, arrest any youth seen acting suspiciously, no questions asked. We can lock down, we lose, I don't want to go anywhere near this side of this spectrum, so I don't like that one. We'll lose industry as well, although stability might be nice at this point. We can educate them. 5,000 gold. Must think long-term, invest accordingly. Only better education can save these children from a life of crime. Obviously, this is the science route. I would typically try to go this way. We do not have the gold for that. Plus 25 science per turn also is very nice. We can uplift. This is a social crisis. We must provide food, clean water, and medicine to those stranded in poverty. The military can assist with distribution. This moves us a little further on the opposite side of over to the gold side of that axis. Get plus 30 money. Oh, but then the cost of training military units also goes up. But we're not training military units currently. That's what for... It's 10 turn effect. We get extra money out of that. Okay, let's uplift and hope we don't have a war declared on us in the next 10 turns. All right, let's get another turn or two in here. Now starvation problems have started to hit us pretty hard here. Nug and Huatu both. How is Huatu starving again? Oh gosh. All right, we got an osmosis event. I don't mind osmosis events most of the time. They want me to go to plus 25 stability on capital. Oh, that's... Uh-oh. That gets rid of our city cap. I don't like that at all. I mean, I don't mind the... Alta Futura cannot afford. I almost have to just accept that. That's going to cost us per turn. It's not the worst thing in the world, and it gets us stability on cap, which I don't really need. So osmosis events will go both ways for you, right? This is an example of an osmosis event not going our way. We'd love to keep the city cap here, but I think we just take this because if we decline it, Palata Putra specifically will drop by, I think it's 50. I think it's a 50 penalty for 10 turns. That would get us down to 0. Now, obviously, we're dropping pretty slowly right now, so might not impact us over those 10 turns, but I'm just going to replace. It's going to cost us a little bit of influence per turn, but I don't think that's going to kill us right now, so we'll just sign it. Not my favorite thing in the world, but we got some more leverage collected, and we took care of that already. Let's check our let's do a quick city check. Altaputra is building a hacienda, so we're good there. Agra is building a hacienda. Their food is not a problem at all. Stability continues to be a problem across the empire. Food was about to become a problem in Corral, but don't worry, they're building a hacienda. We probably want to put a second one down, to be honest. That 16 looks real nice. Let's do that. Just because I can sense that food is going to continue to be a problem there. Anug is building a hacienda. They are about to drop in pop, and honestly, I think we're going to buy like another runner here. We're basically just spending our gold on keeping ourselves out of trouble until we get to microbiology. But the problem is we're in such dire straits when it comes to food that even microbiology is probably not going to save us anymore. This will keep us from losing pop, though. We buy a runner, we grow in 6 turns, we'll get our hacienda in. I think maybe just like throw another hacienda down right away. I mean, I'd love for that to be a research quarter, but that's it's not like adjacent to like a ton of stuff, so that's so let's swing that over on our build order there. They are capital to do some serious building right now. All right, these guys are hanging out. Oh man, plosives, it's right here for the taking. Right here for the taking. I really want to fight this. Part of me says to fight that, just take his army out, force the battle onto that side so he can't reinforce it. I'm gonna do it. He's got cogs, I've got Karaks. We could upgrade these Karaks and really dominate the sea. Because he's not getting reinforced in that fight, right? That's just this is a straight up fight. Oh, he's gonna retreat it. Okay. Oh, and he's retreating further away from his own land. I'm just gonna push. I'm gonna push that by coming over here as well. He's also out in open water, which means he's gonna take even more damage. I'm gonna pay attention to what happens over here. He's not. I don't think he can move into Burley's land, so he's got to come back this way. Nox's fleet is also there. We might be able to get some serious military kills through that. We're just gonna station these runners. We can upgrade them to knights for 800, which again, we need to upgrade our money situation at some point. We need to upgrade a lot of things. Just surprised at how well we're doing this game, based on the fact that I feel like we're having stability problems, we're having food problems, we're having gold problems. But yet we're winning. Are we still winning? We've actually increased our lead by another 100. We're up to 900 fame now. Okay, that we can probably we'll push one more turn. One more turn. The next episode I think is going to go very quickly unless like a war gets declared or something. Agreements with the Germans have frozen. Hello?
Please be quick. I have important people to talk to.
Why are our agreements frozen? What have you done? That's a lot of trade. Oh, that's actually insanely problematic. That is a ton of trade. Did he end our alliance? Actually, I'm not sure what just happened right there. Agreement's frozen. Until the situation improves. What situation? He didn't make any demands. There's no demands? Ah. The war between Burley and Nox ended, And Nox is now revassalized. Let's see what that looks like. Nox got... Wait, who took Memphis? Oh my gosh. Well, oh, Burley is like almost dead. Icarus appears to be attacking Burley. I didn't even know they were at war. You're at war with... Oh my gosh, he is.
Trust.
Very interesting. Okay, so I didn't realize that war was happening. Icarus is currently fighting Burley as well. That... Oh, Memphis got taken. Okay, so Memphis got taken, which was Burley's capital, I believe. So all of my agreements and trade with Burley have now been halted as a result of the war. That is going to make my cities massively... that's just going to be a big problem for us. It's so funny because Burley also is like downgrading all of our treaties. Oh, hi. I'm going to do this again. Might even do this. Oh, that like frees him up to go into the corner though. Push it this way. Hi. We just instant resolve this fight. Oh, we lose a ship? All right, we're going to manual battle this to end this. I don't know where he's going to deploy. But I want to push my guys forward. I don't want to deploy way out here. We also don't want to stretch this fight out at all because he does have units that can come in and reinforce it. Like, if his boats come in and reinforce this fight, then we will actually have a problem. I've got our Karak's kind of leading the charge. But he's going to defend in this direction. These guys have to get here to take shots, right? But these guys don't. They can come in... Our Karak's can come in and take shots from here, and they're just going to sink ships. This boat, if I put him here, will be able to take hits from 3 places. Let's just move the boats in. I get this guy in behind. I can get him over here. Oh. Alright, so they're hemmed in now. We'll go ahead and make these attacks. Sink some boats. If he brings reinforcements in, this will become problematic. They'd come in from over here. Yeah, he's bringing in boats. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! He sent his other boats in. We're in trouble. This is getting very problematic now. Gotta see if we get as many boats sunk as possible and then take his flag. Is there a flag? Oh, no, there is no flag in these anymore, is there? Alright. Let's get our Karaks in position. We want to make him come through here now, I guess, right? He's got a ton of boats that are about to come in. So we want to position ourselves in the best possible way so that our Karaks can take the majority of the fight. Try to like reinforce a couple of positions here. Oh, did he just end? He just ended round. So he actually doesn't want anything to do with this, I guess. Move this Karak into place over here. Okay, so I guess he... We could push the fight, I guess, if we could find him and go attack his units. It's just cogs again. If we can get our Karaks in first, we could keep pushing that. Okay. Let's run through our cities really quickly. Oh, wow. Food just went through the roof here. So I thought we were going to have issues, but maybe not. Altruis's food is fine. Stability is horrendous. We could increase... stability by putting one of these in. I feel like we're almost at that point. But again, I don't want to overplay. Let's do this on the chance that, you know, mass vaccination doesn't actually help us as much as we want. We're going down to 28 here as well, which is somewhat problematic. We're just going to keep putting in the haciendas, though. At some point, we're going to have to just keep putting those in. Okay. That brings us to the end of our episode. We got to turn 173. I think the next episode is going to go very fast as far as turns are concerned. Whew. The Industrial Era, well underway. Thank you all so much for watching the episode. If you like the content, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you next week.